Good morning, students. Today we are going to work out the problems on subscriptions, that is, subscriptions which are going to get written off. You would have learned the term write off in your grade 11 while we are dealing chapter called depreciation, where we used to write off depreciation and we used to transfer the depreciation towards P&L account. In the same way, today we are going to work out problems on subscriptions which will be written off. That means either complete amount of goodwill, complete amount of subscription, or a portion of the complete amount might not receive. So we will see how to frame journal entries for writing a subscription. Before we understand the writing up concept, we must first understand the format of subscription account. This is a subscription table or subscription account format. There are two different formats. One is computed in such a way where you have particulars and rupees column. Under particulars column, you will have the first line item, that is subscription which has been received during the year. So during a particular period of time, say for example currently we are in 2019-20, so for this period whatever the amount of subscription that we have received, it can consist of the subscription for the current year, the subscription for the previous year, and the subscription for the next year. Whatever be the amount, the total amount of subscription what we have received for the year will be taken as a base item. Followed by that, we need to take certain items for additions and certain items we need to delete it, that is for omissions, that is addition and subtraction. The first item which we will take for addition is the subscription amount which is outstanding at the end of the year. End of the year here it means the current year. As I given the example, we are currently working for 1920, that is 1st of April 2019 to 31st of March 2020. So during this year, whatever amount that stands as outstanding, that outstanding subscription will be added along with the total amount of subscription received during the year. Followed by that, if you have received any subscription as an advance subscription, not in the present year, that is 1920, but the year prior to 1920, that is 2018 and 19, then that particular advance subscription needs to be added along with the total subscription. The reason is that particular subscription belongs to the current period, that is 1920. So you can take it for addition. Any doubt, students? Right. When you add all these three amounts, you will get one net amount. To that particular value, you need to subtract two respective items. What are they? Number one, the subscription which is outstanding in the beginning of the current year. Why? Because in the beginning of the year, whatever it is mentioned as outstanding subscription, it pertains to the previous year closing outstanding. For example, the year which we are going to work out is 1920. That is, it starts from 1st of April 19 to 31st of March 2020. During this period, if suppose you have been given in the question outstanding subscription on 1st April 2019, that means it is an outstanding subscription for 2019. But however, that was the closing outstanding balance for the previous year, that is 2018, 31st of March 2018-19. Can you able to understand? That is, the subscription which is on 1st of April 2019 is nothing but it was the closing outstanding subscription for the financial year 1st of April 2018 to 31st of March 2019. So obviously that is a previous year outstanding which we have to delete it, that is we have to subtract it. Followed by that, if suppose you have received any subscription in advance during the current year, that is in the year of 1920, then that subscription you have to subtract it. Once if you subtract all these values, you will get a net amount. That is the amount which we need to take it to the income and expenditure account that denotes that respective year's subscription. This is one way of deriving the amount of subscription which needs to be shown in our income and expenditure. We have another method which is a ledger method, where we can prepare the same subscription and derive the value. Now look at this subscription account which is in a ledger format. As you all know that subscription is an income to a non-profit organization. So all incomes will definitely show credit balance, right? So the amount what you receive towards subscription will be documented on the credit side of the subscription account as by bank. I just repeated, okay, the amount that what you have received as a subscription during the current year will be documented as by bank. Can you able to understand? So this is what they are trying to say. Okay, so by bank you will mention it on credit side. On the credit side it will be mentioned as by bank. Now moving on to what? Our next item, that is outstanding subscription. Any subscriptions which stands outstanding for the current year will be added. So obviously the current year subscription will be recorded on the credit side as by outstanding subscription. Similarly, any subscription which has been received in advance during the last year for the current year needs to be added. So even the previous year advance subscription will be recorded on the credit side. Or in simple terms, those items which we have to add along with the total subscription amount received will be taken to our credit side, and those items which we use to subtract it from the total subscription will be taken to the debit side. So obviously the two items which will be taken to the debit side are current year advance subscription and the previous year outstanding subscription. If you look at the table, you will be able to understand. Here you have two outstanding subscription, that is in the beginning of the year, and the amount of subscription that is received as advance during the year. These both are taken to the debit side. Once you have done with all these items or transferred all these items, you need to total your debit side and credit side. Obviously, your credit side will stand greater than your debit side. So whatever the balance that will be documented in the name of to income and expenditure account as a balancing figure, this amount will be taken to our income and expenditure account to the debit side. So without documenting this value, we may not be able to get a proper surplus or deficit. Can you able to understand, students? And move on to a problem. Right. Well, now let's also try to understand the subscriptions return of concept. As I already said, written off is nothing but we need to just ignore it, which means the amount will not turn out. It is like a bad debt, it's like a loss. So in the same way, out of total subscription outstanding, some portion of the outstanding subscription or the entire amount of outstanding subscription might not be receivable. So in that case, we need to pass a journal entry. What is that journal entry? The journal entry is subscription written off account debit to subscription receivable account or outstanding subscription account. Try to recollect your depreciation concept. When you apply depreciation, on what you will apply? On fixed assets. So depreciation to the respective fixed assets. In the same way, here you are applying on what? You are applying on the outstanding subscriptions. So subscription written off to outstanding subscription. At the same time, what you do, you will transfer the depreciation to your P&L account. Here in place of P&L, we have got income and expenditure account. So you need to transfer or the write-off amount to be transferred to your income and expenditure account. So income and expenditure account will be debited to the subscription written off account. These two journals, if you just keep in your mind, you will be able to complete the problem in an easy manner with the concepts. So apply the concept. It need not mug up the journals. It's purely based on the concepts and fundamentals. Right? Fine. Now let's try to work out the problem. Given here is problem number 15. From the following, determine the amount of subscription that should be credited to income and expenditure account for the year ended 31st of March 2020. That means we need to prepare a subscription account that needs to be shown on the credit side of our income and expenditure account pertaining to the year 1st April 2019 to 31st of March 2020. They are given you the breakup of the subscriptions. The subscription received during the year with the breakup. So overall subscription which you received is 20,000 plus 3 lakhs plus 30,000. That is altogether 3,50,000 rupees. But they are given you the breakup, which means during the year 1st April 19 to 31st March 20, you have received subscription pertaining to the previous year, that is 31st March 2019, worth of rupees 20,000. Subscription pertaining to the current year, worth of rupees 3 lakh, and subscription pertaining to the next year, 21, pertaining an amount of rupees 30,000. This, if you watch carefully, you can able to understand that it consists of current year subscription, which will be the base, the previous year subscription, and the next year subscription, that is advance. So 3 different years subscription are available. It is said very clearly, subscription outstanding or subscription receivable at 31st March 2019 was 35,000. So during the year ended 31st of March 2019, there was an outstanding subscription worth of rupees 35,000. But out of that 35,000, 5,000 worth of subscription is not going to be received. They are not receivable. Hence you need to write off. Remember, don't expect always the clue word write off to be given in the question, or only write off is given, we need to apply write off concept. Never. Whenever it is said that it is not receivable, it is understood that it belongs to write off concept. So don't expect the question to be straightforward. They can twist the question also. So please remember what you need to do at the time when you perform the question, when you perform your answer, give the answers for the question. Right. So here, out of 35,000, 5,000 is not going to be received. Right? It is to be written off. On that date, if you look at here, they have not given any date, but they have said on that date. Which date it means? It means the date on which this particular 5,000 is not going to be received on that same date. So that means 31st March 2019. So on this 31st March 2019, subscription received in advance for the year ended 31st of March 2020 were rupees 20,000. Can you able to understand, student? That means in the previous year we have collected 20,000 rupees subscription in advance for the current year. So that we need to add. Able to understand? Right. So subscription still outstanding. That means it is still outstanding as at 31st of March 2020, amounting to rupees how much? Rupees 60,000. It is 60,000. So subscription still outstanding is 60,000. Now let's see how to take each and every item to a subscription account. We have just asked to show only the subscription account. Can you able to understand? They say very clearly from the following determine the amount of subscription that should be credited. They didn't ask you to prepare the income and expenditure account. Right, so straight away I am just going to prepare my subscription account. Can you able to view my screen, students? Yeah. So here subscription account, when you are preparing it, you have to make sure that you are writing the date, particulars, rupees, and for the credit side also date, particulars and rupees. The first item which I will bring is the total subscription that I have received. The total subscription which I received for the year is 20,000 plus 3 lakh plus 30. So all together when I club these three, I will get an amount of rupees 3,50,000. So that I am bringing over here as by bank an amount of rupees 3,50,000 in my credit side. Can you able to follow, students? If you just look at the credit side of mine, okay, I have just written by bank an amount of rupees 3,50,000. Right. Now I'll move on to the next side. Now I have to bring the next item which I'll document it on the credit side of my subscription account. So the next item which I have to bring in is the outstanding value of subscription. So what is the current year outstanding? If you check it out, it is mentioned that subscription still outstanding as the 31st of March 2020 is 60,000. So this should be shown on which side? On the credit side. So in my credit side, by subscription outstanding account 60,000. Able to understand? The 60,000 I have brought it. Now what I have to do? I have to bring in any of the advanced subscription which I have got in the previous year. Yes, I do have it here. There is an amount of rupees 20,000 which I got a subscription during the previous year 2019. So this amount of 20,000 will be taken to the credit side of my subscription account. So in my subscription account, I am mentioning as subscription received in advance 20,000. So any doubt in this first three items? Right. Simultaneously, let me finish off my debit side also. On the debit side, I will document the amount which I have to subtract it from my total subscription. Obviously, the previous year outstanding subscription. Where it is available over here. The subscription, okay, outstanding as at 31st of March 2019 is given as rupees 35,000. So the previous year subscription is 35,000. That I'll show over here. So two subscriptions outstanding in the beginning date 35,000. Followed by this. The current year I have received 30,000 subscription as advance. That should be minus. So I have brought even that subscription which I have to minus it. Got it? Right. But it is said very clearly over here, an amount of 5,000 is to be written off. So what I have to do? This 5,000 I should show in my subscription account right now. Where will I show this subscription? Where will I show this amount of 5,000? I should show this amount of 5,000 on my credit side. How? Just recollect this journal entry. What is said? Subscription written off to subscription receivable account or outstanding. So in my receivables, receivable means credit. So in my receivable, I have to bring the amount of 5,000. So how I am going to document that 5,000? I'll be mentioning it as by subscription return of 5,000. So it is a income and expenditure account. Able to understand? This amount of 5,000, I'm not going to receive it, so I'm just mentioning it on my credit side. So now when I total the credit side value, I'll get altogether an amount of rupees 4,35,000. When I'm going to club the values on my debit side, I have only 35,000 and 30,000. So there will be a shortage of amount of rupees 3,70,000. So this 3,70,000 is the amount which I have to take it to my income and expenditure account. Clear with this, student? So after that, both the side you need to make it tally. You should make it equal. So this is what the concept of subscription account. I hope you all understood the concept, right? Fine. Let's move on to the next problem. Okay, problem number 16. Problem number 16 deals with the concept of cost of goods sold. The next new concept which we are going to learn today is cost of goods sold. Since non-profit organization doesn't deal with any trade activity, but still it has something called cost of goods sold in order to compute it. That is, what is the consumable items. In a non-profit organization, there will be some consumable items. For example, the stationery items will be consumed in the office, right? In the office, stationeries are more useful. It's a consumable item. Without paying cash or without the payment of cash, you can't purchase any stationery. So you paying cash for it, and you want to know how much you utilized it. So that calculation we have to find out. The next one, in medicines, in hospitals, medicines are being used to cure the illness of the patients. So medicines will not be supplied to the hospitals at free of cost. Probably it can be supplied at a subsidized rate, because pharmaceutical companies work on a profit segment, right? So when they buy the medicines, they have to spend money from the pocket, and total money they have spent some amount, but they have used only some quantum of that particular medicines. So we need to arrive at the right value of the items consumed. Similarly, even in sports club, some sports materials might be consumed. So all these consumable items we need to calculate it in order to derive the exact value of surplus or deficit by preparing our income and expenditure account. We have to maintain a separate stock account for each of the consumable item. That means if we are going to prepare an income and expenditure account for a hospital, then for hospitals will use medicines. So for medicine we need to have a separate account. Or if you are going to work out for a sports club, then for sports materials or sports equipment, you may have to maintain a separate stock account. Or if you are going to work out for some normal organization, a non-profit organization, in that case stationery is given as one item, then for stationery you have to maintain a separate account. So maintaining separate account is very important when it comes to cost of goods sold, or to find out the cost of consumable item. Don't get confused with the separate account, bank account for each fund account and a separate stock account. You will maintain a separate fund account for each fund in fund-based accounting. Clear? Whereas here you are opening a separate stock account depending upon the nature of stock or the nature of business. So as I said, the correct amount of surplus or deficit, only then you can find out. And remember, the amount will have to be debited to the income and expenditure account, and closing stock will be shown in the balance sheet. So the closing stock will be taken to the balance sheet, because we are maintaining a separate stock account. So whenever we maintain a separate stock account, each stock account will bear or will contain opening balance as well as closing balance. The closing balance needs to be taken to the balance sheet. The amount of items consumed during the year will be calculated using a procedure. We have a small procedure or table using which we will calculate the amount of material consumed or stock consumed, whatever it is. Let's try to understand how it works upon. So here comes the format. The first item which will take it as a base is opening stock of consumable item. That means if they are given in the question any particular stock, say for example stationery or medicine, if not the sports material, then the opening balance of that particular stock, okay, will have to be taken as a base. So opening stock of consumable item will be as a base. To that we need to add the net purchases, that is any purchases which you have made during the year. Remember, the net purchases here, it means both total purchases as well as that is cash purchases as well as credit purchases. So total purchase is what net purchase, and when I say total or net purchase, it should cover both my cash as well as credit. When I am using cash and credit, obviously when I say cash, there is no possibility of creditors. But when I say credit, there is a possibility of creditors. So you can expect opening and closing balance of creditors also. So please remember, when you are going to find out the amount of consumable item, make sure whether you have opening balance of the stock and closing balance of the stock, opening balance of creditors and closing balance of creditors, and also your amount, that is the consumable item, what is available as a opening stock. So from the opening stock, if you add the total net purchases, which includes cash and credit, you will get one value. To that particular value, you need to subtract your closing stock. Once you subtract your closing stock from that particular value, you will get the balance which you have to show in the income and expenditure account. So which side you will show this balance? You will show it on the debit side, no doubt about it. Very important thing which you all have to notice is the opening stock of such item will appear in the opening balance sheet. That means if a question is given using a balance sheet, then you might wonder from where we need to take the opening stock of the materials or those items. The opening stock will be available in the opening balance sheet, and the closing balances will be given in your closing balance sheet. Any doubts, students, so far? Right. Let me move on to the last area which you have to understand. It is to be noted that the receipt from sale of these consumable items. So when you sell the consumable item, whatever the receipt that you get, okay, are considered as a revenue receipt, because it is a continuous item which you will get again and again. So it is a continuous item, that's why we call them as a revenue receipts. Let's try to understand the problem based on this particular scenario. Calculate the amount of stationery that will be debited to income and expenditure account for the year ended 31st of March 2020. They itself said very clearly that it is the amount needs to be debited. So which means we have to prepare a stationery account, that is nothing but a separate stock account, and from that we need to derive the value which we will show in our income and expenditure account debit side. Clear? So we need to perform for the period 1st April 2019 to 31st of March 2020. Stock of stationery, that is stock of stationery on 1st April 2019. What stock it is? It is our opening stock. So we have given the base. Opening stock is available. So this problem, they are not given in terms of balance sheet, they are just given the details. From the details we have to prepare it. So don't expect always balance sheet will be given up. You may also be given up with this particular statements. From the statement you have to prepare it. So stock, right, of stationery on 1st of April 2019 is 15,000. This will be a base item. To this you will be adding the payment made for stationery during the year and the 31st of March 2020. Why? It is nothing but denotes your purchases. So purchase of stationery. So it's a net purchases. How do I confirm that it's a net purchases? Because they haven't given any information about either opening creditor nor your closing creditors. So when opening and closing creditors are not available, obviously we can take it for granted that it is purely on a cash basis. So in that aspect, the overall amount of purchases comes to 15,000, which I'll take it for the add item. Sorry, it is a 54,000, which I'll take it for the add item. The final one is stock of stationery in hand on 31st of March 2020. That is your closing balance of stock. So closing balance of stock for the current year is given to us. What will you do with that? You need to subtract it. It is similar to the formula. Cost of goods sold is equal to opening stock plus purchases less closing stock. So in this aspect we have to prepare our stationery account. Let's understand the stationery account. Here comes up the stationery account. So first what you have to do, you need to prepare the table in this particulars and rupees. Opening stock of stationery as a base 15,000. The purchases what you have made during the year is 54,000. Adding these two you will get 69,000. From 69,000 you have to reduce the stock of stationery which is in the beginning, that is which is not in the beginning, which is towards the end, the closing balance. The closing balance of stationery you have to omit it, that is deleted, which is 2,500. When you do these calculations you will get one final balance, that is 66,500. This is the amount which we need to debit in our income and expenditure account. Any doubt, students? Are you clear with the concepts? It is very simple. We have to take the stationery value which is available in the question, that is opening value of the stationery. To that you will add the purchases of the stationery which you have done during the year. That will give you a net amount. From that net amount you need to eliminate or you need to subtract or deduct the stock of stationery which is towards the end of the year, that is 2,500. That will give you the amount to be debited to your income and expenditure account. In this problem, two things you have to keep in your mind. There is no credit sales. At the same time there is no creditors. Since there is no creditors, there is no credit sales. If at all there is a credit sale, obviously creditors will be available in the question. So you need to make sure that the opening and closing creditors are brought to the computation. Only then our answer will be perfect. Shall we move on to the next problem, students? Shall we move on to the next problem? Fine. Anyone has any doubts, students? Everyone are clear? Okay. Let's see the problem number 17 now. Problem number 17 says us to calculate the amount of medicine consumed during the year 31st of March 2019. So we have to prepare the medicine consumed. So stock, we need to prepare a separate stock account for medicine for the year. Which year we have to prepare it? We need to prepare it from 1st April 2018 good to 31st of March 2019. So this is going to be our period for which we have to prepare our respective account. So respective what account? Medicine account. So you have given opening stock of medicine, closing stock of medicines, amount paid for the medicine during the year, opening creditors as well as closing creditors. So if you look at this question, we have opening and closing balance of the stock. We have also given details regarding the creditors, opening and closing balance, and also the amount paid towards medicine during the year. So here obviously you have got creditors, so you have to prepare creditors account also. Let's see how to prepare the items. But before that, if you just read the question carefully, you will come to know what are the values that pertains to respective items. The opening stock of medicine is rupees 50,000. That's not an issue. Whereas if you look at the closing stock of medicine, it is said 45,000 more than opening stock. That means 45,000 is not the amount of closing stock. 45,000 more than your opening stock, which means opening stock is 50,000. With this, if you add 45,000, you will get 95,000. So 95,000 rupees is the amount which you have to take it for calculation. Am I making sense to you, students? Good. And then said amount paid for the medicine during the year 2 lakhs, which will be a base, and opening creditors are given to us and closing creditors are given to us. So opening creditors where we should show and closing creditors where we have to show. But closing creditors, you see, it's at 50% of opening creditors. That means in 20,000 what is 50%? Obviously it's going to be 10,000. Now let's move on to the format. Everything is format based, right? So first I am going to show you a statement. This is all the statement showing the expenditure of medicines consumed during the year 2019, that is 31st of March 2019, particulars and rupees in amount. So what you are going to do, first line item, amount paid for the medicines. Whatever the amount that you paid to the medicine, that you have to take it as a first item. So you have paid 2 lakhs rupees, have it as a base. To this 2 lakhs, what you are going to do now, you are going to add your opening stock of medicine, that is 50,000. When you add this 50,000 to 2 lakh, you will be left over with 2 lakhs 50,000. That's what I shown in the outer column here, just for your understanding. Okay. And next you will reduce certain items. What are those items? Closing stock of medicine. So closing stock of medicines needs to be subtracted. It's quite simple formula. Opening stock plus purchases less closing stock, right? So opening stock we don't have in the question. That's the reason we started in this question straight away with the purchases. If at all we are given with the opening stock, then we have gone with the opening stock as a base. Since it's not available, we took amount paid for medicines, that is the payment, that is purchases as a base, to which you have added your stock of medicines. Okay, this is your amount of 50,000. So what is the stock of medicine? Opening stock of medicine 50,000. Then closing stock. The question shows very clearly closing stock of medicine is 45,000 more than opening stock. That means if you add 45 to 50,000, you'll get 95,000. So that amount of 95,000 is come here. Next is less your opening creditors. So creditors needs to be subtracted. The two opening creditors, not the closing creditors. Okay. So the opening creditors needs to be subtracted. That is an amount of rupees 20,000. When you add the two items which are going to subtract, that gives you 1,15,000. So when you subtract this 1,15,000 from 2,50,000, you will be left over with an amount of rupees. How much? You will be left over with an amount of rupees 1,35,000. Able to understand? Right. So hope students, I think you know how you got this 1,35,000. Right? Now, just you have to add an amount of 10,000 with that 1,35,000. That is the closing creditors which is given in the question. Right? Closing creditors 50% of opening stock. So when I apply 50% on the opening stock of 20, opening creditors of 20,000, I'll get 10,000. So applying this 50 percentage on 20,000, I will be left over with an amount of 10,000. That pertains to my closing creditors. So my closing creditors value is 10,000, which I have to add it. Any doubts, students, so far? Right. So straight away I will add 10,000 with the total value. That gives me 1,45,000. So this is the amount of medicine consumed during the year. So the amount of medicine consumed during the year is rupees 1,45,000. And where will I show this 1,45,000? I should show this amount of 1,45,000 in my income and expenditure account on the debit side. So on the debit side of my income and expenditure account, I'll show the amount of rupees 1,45,000. Any doubts, students? Right. Let's move on to the last question, that is question number 18. From the following information, determine the amount to be debited to stationery account in income and expenditure account for the year ended 31st of March 2019. So listen here carefully. You are being asked to show two things: stationery account in income and expenditure account. So without preparing stationery account, we can't open our income and expenditure account. Can you able to understand, students? If we don't prepare the stationery account, obviously we can't show the value of stationery consumed in income and expenditure account. So we have to prepare stationery account. Also we have to prepare our income and expenditure account for the year ended 31st March 2019, which means then our accounting period will be from 1st April 2018 to 31st of March 2019. So stock of stationery on 1st April 18 is given to us rupees 30,000. That means it's our opening stock. So opening stock will be taken as what item? Add item or less item? Add item, because opening stock plus purchases. So this is opening stock which will be taken as add item. Just look at the table. In the table it is very clear, right? If you look at here, it is very clear. There is statement showing stationery consumed. You have to write the heading properly. We are going to prepare a statement showing the stationery consumed during the year ended 31st of March 2019. Okay, with particulars and values. So amount paid for stationery during the year, it is nothing but the purchases. So amount paid during the year is how much? It is nothing but 1,08,000. So the amount of rupees 1,08,000 is paid, that is purchases taken for add. With this you are adding the opening stock of stationery which is given in the question. Stock of stationery, there is opening balance is 30,000. I am taking 30,000 over here. With this you will add your creditors for stationery towards the end of the year. So towards the end of the year, that is my closing creditors, if you look at it, it is 13,000. That is 13,000 is also been added. When I add these two value, 30,000 with 13,000, that comes 43,000. When I am going to add 43,000 with the amount paid, that is net purchases, I'll get total value of is 1,51,000. Any doubts so far, students? Okay, moving on to the next line item. With this value, I have to subtract few items. What are they? They are nothing but the stock of stationery on 31st of March 19. That means closing stationery value to be deducted. Also the value of opening creditas. So creditas for stationery, opening creditas for stationery needs to be deducted. That is 5,000 one value and 20,000 is the other value. When I club the total value, it gives 25,000. So from 1,51,000, if I deduct 25,000, I will get an amount of rupees 1,26,000. This 1,26,000 is nothing but it is the amount which I have to take it to the debit side of my income and expenditure account. So this is the amount of stationery which has been consumed. So you will name it as stationery consumed during the year. When you are writing the heading, it should be like statement showing stationery consumed during the year. Whereas when you derive the answer, it should be as stationery consumed during the year. For the respective year you mention, and this value you will take it to your income and expenditure account. So simultaneously below this Excel you will open your income and expenditure account. So debit side as your expenditure, credit side for your income, and then heading as an extract of income and expenditure account for the year ended 31st of March 2020. Why do we call this as an extract? This can be asked in your Viva. They can ask this question in your board Viva. What do you mean by an extract? So an extract is nothing but only partial information will be available and it won't get completely tallied. You can't tally that particular statement or report. So an extracted file will either have data on both the sides or on any one side, and it will never get tallied. So it can be for an income and expenditure account, it can be for receipts and payment account, it can be for a balance sheet or whatever it is. Okay, you can have an extract. So here we are preparing only an extract. Why? Because all our focus was on preparation of the respective stationery account, and after preparing stationery we are just preparing the income and expenditure account, whereby we have to debit the value of stationery consumed. So only the expenditures we are focusing upon. So in the expenditure side you write as to stationery consumed. The overall amount what you got here 1,26,000 will be mentioned over here. Now immediately you need to prepare balance sheet also, because the question has said very clearly also show the above items in the income and expenditure account for the year ended 31st of March 2019 and balance sheet. Okay, as at that date. So you also have to prepare a balance sheet. So here you have the balance sheet, an extract of balance sheet as at 31st of March 2020. Liability side and asset side you will have it, and you are going to show only two items. What are those two items? Number one will be creditors for stationery. Why? Because there is still an amount of creditor which is showing an outstanding balance. So closing balance of creditors needs to be shown here for the current year. So current year closing creditors value is what? If you look at the question, you will get the value properly. Creditors for stationery on 31st of March 19 is 13,000. So this 13,000 you will mention in your liability side as creditors for stationery. Similarly, you have got closing value of stationery, right? So that is nothing but stock of stationery. And we were able to understand. You have got the current year closing amount of stationery. So the stationery which is in the closing balance is 5,000. If you look at the question, you will understand it. Stock of stationery on 31st of March 19 is 5,000. We are performing only for the year 19, that is 18-19. So this item of 5,000 will be shown on the asset side of my balance sheet. And again remember, asset will also not get tally, it is an extract only. So this is how you will prepare your income and expenditure account, balance sheet, and also the respective stationery account. By preparing stationery account, what we will get? we'll get the amount of stationery consumed. Without deriving that and without taking that value to the debit side of income and expenditure account, we may not be able to derive the exact value of our deficits or surplus. So able to understand, students? But we do have an alternate method to do the same problem. What is that? The stationery account is opened in a ledger format. Here we open in a table format, but we can open this even in a ledger format. So when you prepare ledger format, what you have to do is you have to ensure that stationery is what? It is an asset. So all assets will show what balance? It will show debit balance. So the opening balance of stationery for the year will be showing debit balance. So to balance brought down, the value are documented as 30,000. Similarly, the closing balance will show what balance? Will have to show credit balance. One then it will become an opening balance as debit for the next month or next year. So the closing balance you will record it in your credit side. So hand on hand, you just try to complete these two items first. The next one is, it is a stock, right? It's a stationery which you are buying from someone. So obviously the someone from where you are getting it, he is supposed to be your supplier. He is your creditor because you would have got goods from him for cash also on credit, and we do have credit transactions in this problem. So obviously you should find out what is the amount that you have paid to your creditors, or what is the amount that is bearing to the creditors. So first, for that you are opening the creditor account also immediately. Only then you can able to fill some value here. In the creditors account, the opening balance of creditors will be showing a credit balance because creditors are all liabilities. So creditor account, you are just preparing it, and the opening balance of creditor you are just dropping to the credit side. Similarly, the closing creditor value will be on the debit side. That is an amount of rupees 13,000. Any doubt so far? No. And it was given the question that during the year, okay, the amount of stationery which has been purchased or amount paid for the stationery purchase is rupees 1,08,000. This amount of 1,08,000 you will bring it as to bank, because when you pay, to whom you are paying? To your creditors you will pay. What will be the journal entry? Creditors account debited to cash or bank. So in my creditors account, I'll have to mention it as to bank account and value of 1,08,000. Can you able to understand, students? Right. So we had brought the opening balance of creditors, the closing balance of creditors, and the amount paid to the creditors for the year. All this day has got over. Now if you just look at it, your balance will be on the which side? Credit side. It won't get tally, right? Because you have got two items on the debit side, whereas one item on the credit side, and the value is huge when compared to the credit side value. So obviously that particular amount which is short of, that is which is showing a deficit of rupees 1,01,000 will be shown as a balancing figure. We will have to show the amount of 1,01,000 as a balancing figure in our creditors account. So by stock of stationery. So whatever the closing balance, when you prepare your creditors account, you will not get any closing balance of creditors, because opening balance of creditors as well as closing balance of creditors will be available in the question itself. So you need not bother about those two. And you will also be given up with the amount what has been paid to the creditors in the form of the payments. So even that you will bring into picture. Apart from this, there is no other item to be documented. When you just total it both the side, there will be some shortage. That shortage amount will be transferred or will be a balancing figure, and we'll name them as by stock of stationery. That is by stock of stationery. This amount is nothing but it is the amount of stationery which has to be shown in our debit side. This 1,01,000. Okay, so what we do next? Again we'll go back to stationery account after preparing the creditors account. So that 1,01,000 will be on the debit side. So you had opening balance on the debit side, you had closing balance on the debit side, on the credit side, and you also showing the amount of 1,01,000 on the debit side and 1,26,000 on the credit side. From where you are bringing these two? Only from the creditors account. So in my creditors account, the value what I get, okay, the creditors account, the value what I get, 1,01,000, right, on the credit side, that will be on the debit side of stationery account. So it will be as 1,01,000 and 1,08,000 on my debit side, and the overall balance of both the sides will be 1,21,000 in my creditors account. Whereas in my stock account, okay, in my stock account, that is stationery account, I'll have my opening balance on the debit side, I'll have my closing balance of the stock, that is the stationery, on its credit side, and then I'll take the amount of rupees 1,01,000 from the creditors account, which is nothing but creditors for stationery. So the creditors for stationery, why I am preparing like this one entry? It's very simple. When I buy, okay, any goods, that is any stationery on credit from a creditor, what will be my journal? Respective stationery account will be debited to the respective creditor account. So in that aspect, so to creditor for stationery, it is purely based on the journal. Okay, when I purchase any stationery on credit basis from a creditor, the journal entry will be the respective stationery account. Whatever the stationery, I will be debiting it to creditor's account. So that's the reason I just drop the amount of creditor, okay, that is creditor for stationery, on my debit side. And then if I tally this particular ledger, I will get a shortage of rupees 1,26,000, which I will document it towards by income and expenditure account. So this balance amount should only go to a income and expenditure account. This is the second way of doing this problem. So students, today we have discussed 4 problems and we have worked out 4 problems, and I have given you the explanation on those 4 problems. So do these 4 problems, and also the homework for the day will be problems from your exercise, that is textual back exercise. Those problems should relate to the concept. So relating to this concept, you can take the problems from your textbook back exercise and do start working on it, right? If you have any doubts or any issues, please don't hesitate to call or ping us. Thank you, students.